Then we had this very interesting promo from Britt Baker. She is on camera by herself in the backstage area and says that Saraya stared in her eyes 4 times, telling her she wasn't a star and had only been on TV for 3 years. But Baker says in those years, I've gone from nervous to confident and a tenacious face of this division. I became a leader. And a leader is where you take all the blame when everyone else receives the credit. I wasn't handed anything that you weren't. I was given an opportunity, I ran with it, and I became undeniable. No, I didn't wrestle at Madison Square Garden, but I did wrestle at Daly's Place in Jacksonville for over a year. When the fans couldn't come to them, we kept the fire burning, and that's an era that you'll never know. I respect you fighting addiction, Saraya, coming back from a neck injury, and you paved the way. But this business owes you nothing. It's moved, and you will not belittle me or my accomplishments. All the blood, sweat, and tears because you're stuck in the past. I'm the heart, soul, and pulse of AEW. Saraya thinks she's above that. Well, she can get the hell out because this is my house. Now, on its own, I thought this was a phenomenal promo. What the desired reaction is on Saturday, I have no clue because all I could think of after this is like, Saraya better have the promo of her life later in this show. She did not. And like this to me just sets it up like here is like the entitled outsider and Britt is like our home team representative on Saturday that they are like begging for like this reaction that like it's going to be Baker coming in as the sentimental favorite against Saraya. It's a really odd dynamic when this is Saraya's comeback match. Like this to me was like the easiest comeback story, and this promo, like it was great. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't know what you're expecting on Saturday other than like pushing the audience against Saraya when this should be like her big return.
I thought it was a great babyface promo, but an absolutely terrible heel promo. You know, unless they're going ahead with this and they're doing, you know, this sort of double turn heading into the match on Saturday, which would be a terrible idea for somebody coming off
of the comeback. This
a neck
like,
injury.
I feel like turning Sean in the lead up to the Hunter return. Like you're not even there. She hasn't even come back yet.
Right. Yeah. So I don't think that's the intended direction. And I think what's happening here is just, again, a lot of talents getting a lot of free reign to script their promos. And it feels like maybe it's just Britt Baker coming off of Saraya's promo from last week, finding the weak points and the fallacies in Saraya's lines and pinpointing them into what she felt to be a natural response. Unfortunately, it's completely counterproductive to the program that they're trying to build. You know, Saraya, I thought, you know, to a lot of people, I think had a very good promo last week. She certainly got into, you know, a lot of real reasons why, you know, this was such an important moment for her. But I think there were missteps in her promo where she, you know, the key lines with being, you've only been here for 3 years, you haven't done anything in this business. Well, that can very easily be misconstrued as somebody saying you've only been in AEW, not the WWE, and therefore you aren't a star. And Britt in this one just really kind of like honed in on that and just kind of, you know, blew that up. And it resulted in this great rallying cry for people that are fans of AEW cheering for the hometown player in Britt Baker, the person who came up under their watch, citing Daly's Place, you know, which has sort of become, you know, the mecca of AEW. It seemed like a pretty easy counter response from Britt Baker in order to heat up the program, but unfortunately the heat was directed in the wrong direction, and it was very detrimental, I felt, to the program overall.
Yeah, I think that this match is going to be like one of the most focused upon on the entire card because I don't think people know what to expect in this match. And you've now just added the crowd dynamic as one of the questions on top of it. Like it's not even a guarantee that you're going to have like a strict babyface heel dynamic here because this, to me, really muddied things going into Saturday.
Yeah, I get the sense that like the real life story of Saraya is going to be, you know, strong enough that despite what they saw on TV, they will still treat Saraya like this is her, you know, big triumphant comeback moment. And they should, you know, there are real life circumstances involved here that I don't think creative as maybe unsatisfying, and let's be honest, for me, bad as it was leading up to this match, will change. But I will say this promo tonight certainly didn't help things whatsoever.
This was a fantastic promo for a different phase of her career, not tonight. Renee is with Saraya, and Saraya says she feels fantastic. Never thought that this would happen, but she's sick of this back and forth with Britt. She chose to be here and beat the best, and the best is Britt Baker, and doesn't want to talk about it anymore. She's going to see her at Full Gear, and that was it.
Yeah, you really said it earlier, John. She really needed something strong here to counter the death blow that Britt Baker gave her.
This was a 10-8. Yeah.
Oh man. And unfortunately, whether it be due to lack of time or what, like she really only had like 15 seconds here. So I don't really blame her too much, but she said nothing of substance to, change my mind about if I was, an AEW fan, who I should be cheering for. But it's, again, too bad because she's got such an easy story to tell. It's like, I've been away, I've clawed my way back, and you're not going to, ruin that for me. But again, I by the time the bell rings, I think reality will set in, and I think the audience will realize, okay, this is a really magical moment for this person who's really fought through so much to get back here.
Yeah, the way this should have been structured is that Baker got the big promo last week and could almost characterize Saraya as this big shot who thinks she's all this because she's been to all these arenas, like paint her as like this. And then this week we get the promo from Saraya that we heard last week where he's like, yeah, I've gone to Madison Square Garden and all these big buildings, but I started off in Norwich, England, where I was hit by a car. And cut that promo this week to counteract all of those accusations from last week. I think that would have been a much stronger way to build this up and both get their big promos. But one is a heel promo and one is that great babyface underdog story of Saraya that sends her into the comeback match.
Or even Saraya saying, I've been into all those places. I've wrestled in the Tokyo Dome. But the only place that matters is the Prudential Center because this match means more to me than any of those. They could have gone to a lot of, I think, better directions for this program. And a lot of it by the end tells me that I don't know if they have much planning foresight, for an overall story. It really feels to me like they've just kind of been going week by week, trying to figure out something rather than having like one strong narrative to guide them through it all. So yeah, I've been quite disappointed in this reintroduction to Saraya.